Hi, I'm Liz Cully, and welcome back to Cool, Cool, Cool. Each week, I give you a glimpse into what I think is cool and chat with a ton of people that are definitely cool. No topic is off bounds unless, I guess, it's not cool. Welcome to Cool, Cool, Cool. Well, welcome back to Cool, Cool, Cool. Today's guest is a dear friend. I feel like we've known each other through so many lives in LA, which is the best part. Truly.
You were like the first person I met when I came, before I even moved here, when I was just like, I'm into LA every once in a while.
Wait, that's right. Our little group.
Yeah, the crew.
The crew. Wow. Okay.
And what a motley crew it was.
What a motley crew indeed. I mean, Sarnie and I, who gets mentioned on this podcast every other episode, we were so excited because I think you were still working with Christina at Milk Bar.
Yes, I was.
And so we were like, fuck yeah, she's going to make us all this shit. Woo-hoo. You really
I did.
Yeah, you really upped the food game for us.
Do you know my first memory of you? My first real strong memory.
Oh my God.
You were making cocktails. You were making the most delicious cocktails.
Yeah.
And I can't remember exactly what happened. We got into it wasn't an argument, but we had a kind of an intense conversation
about what?
About I think it was the recycling. You were asking me where the recycling was. And I was like, recycling is a sham. It's not a sham.
It is a sham.
Recycling is
Guess
real,
what?
but the way it's handled, I believe, in our country is a sham. Because I used to handle all the trash for Milk Bar, right? So I would have to call the New York City trash dudes. I call them dudes, the trash people, the people who are in charge of the trash.
I think they're the trash dudes,
I think that's fine.
Dudes. I think that's okay.
So I would call them every week. Our bins would get stolen all the time. Just weird stuff would happen.
New York shit.
And New York stuff. And our recycling bin kept getting stolen. I don't know why, but it did. And so every time I would call, I had a calendar reminder every day, call at 5 p.m. and make sure, because it would take forever to get them. We're we have to keep recycling. We have so much trash that needs to be recycled. And finally, the person I spoke to, they're like, Courtney, I know you want this, but it really doesn't matter. It's all going to the exact same place anyway. We do nothing different with the recycling. That was 10 or 15 years ago. Maybe that has changed.
And I got into a shook about this?
Well, because I was basically I was explaining to you that recycling didn't matter, but you're like, yes, it does. And I was like, no, it doesn't. And
well, this is so funny because now I know better, and maybe it was from you, but it is a sham. Also, Rachel and I we definitely do our recycling, but she and I get into it where I'm like, it doesn't even matter because it goes to the same place. And then it's a third party.
Yeah.
That buys it all.
Yeah.
Oh
and I don't even know. It's been a minute since I've researched this. It may have changed. I don't know how up to date you are with it all. But last I heard, that doesn't even happen anymore because I think China was buying all of it, but China doesn't do that anymore.
Wow.
We need to get some fact checkers for this episode for sure.
I didn't see that.
We're starting out strong.
I thought the first memory of me, do you remember when
what did you think my first memory
Remember when we did a Thanksgiving together?
Oh my God.
And all those oysters were being shucked.
Yes. That may have been actually the same day.
Really? It wasn't the first time we met, but it was one of the, to spend Thanksgiving,
I think that was the best Thanksgiving of my life to date.
Well, it wasn't for me, and I'll tell you why. Because I decided, Kid Cudi was there. Scott, remember?
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. I totally forgot about that.
Okay. And I decided I was stopping by your guys's. I brought over cocktails and something else. We were, that's in Los Feliz. So we were doing that. But then I had agreed to go to my boss at the time's house in Studio City with her 3-year-old husband and a couple of coworkers. And I had made another dessert or something. And I, at that point, hadn't really smoked weed in many years. And we were with some stoners. And I was like, Kid Cudi, this is weird that you're here. And this is strange because it was really only 5 of us. It wasn't very many of us. And so
that was the first and only time, to my knowledge, that he ever came over to that house. Right. That was the first and last time I met him.
Hit the joint, which was the stupidest thing. And David Cho, who now works with Allison Roman, does all her content. Cho was like, dude, you're so high. Like, you shouldn't drive. And I was like, you're right. I can't drive. I can't do anything. I'll be fine. And I didn't want to admit how fucking stoned I was, because then I started to get really weird and like everybody seemed very weird to me. Probably that's when I was like defending the recycling situation.
Maybe I'm the one that sent you down the spiral.
No. It was Kid Cudi. And then I went into my car, into my little Jetta, and I laid in the back seat because I didn't want any of you guys. I just told you guys all that I left, and I went into the back seat, like outside of the car, and just sat there for like might have been 2 hours until I wasn't stoned anymore. And then I drove to Studio City and had the weirdest Thanksgiving and was like, why am I here? Why did I leave? What am I doing? What's happening?
I wish you would have stayed.
I know, me too. I should have just not have gone. I should have just been like, I should have made an excuse.
But I hear you about the weed thing. And that's why I do not fuck with THC anymore at all. Because I call it going to the dark place.
Yeah.
I am a huge fan of CBD.
Me too.
But THC,
not for you. I have to be very careful with it. So yeah. So speaking of food, speaking of entertainment, one of my favorite things that you make of all time is your nacho cheese dip.
Queso.
Queso is beyond. I had never been to Texas where you hail. No.
I hail from Texas.
You do hail. Okay. I was like, oh my God. Wrong.
I do.
Southern
It's
state.
true. It's true.
And I think your queso was one of the first quesos I've ever had. It was so delicious. It feels really retro. Like, you've got Ruined Table, which is your incredible world that you've created of old school menu cards, which I loved because obviously my mom had one, like the Rolodex.
They're the best.
The best. And then you do Lessons in Chemistry, which is a massive hit.
I know.
Hit.
The nominations just keep rolling in. Unfortunately, there's a category for best lasagna. But
well, talk to me though about that's what I want to talk about. So, and I want to see if something is true. So you've done TV, you've done stuff before. It's not like this is your first thing ever, but
Correct.
You are the food stylist, connoisseur, recipe maker. Like, describe to me what your role on Lessons in Chemistry was.
So I think the credit says it's food consultant or culinary consultant. So basically, which to me is the coolest.
Very cool.
So I basically had my hands in everything. So I would meet with the writers and the directors and with Brie and kind of figure out because Brie was a producer as well.
Sure.
And so we would kind of like figure out what we wanted the food vibe to be, how we wanted it to be represented in the show. We knew we really wanted it to jump off screen and for everyone to be super hungry when they were eating it. So like I would help with that whole like brainstorm session for that. And then they would send the scripts and I would read through them, obviously, and then come up with a game plan of how we were going to make it, and then head to the kitchen and work with like a fantastic team of food stylists to execute all the food and get it on set. And the other thing that I did too, which sounds like an afterthought, but it was really my favorite part, was I was the hand double for Brie.
I knew it. That was going to be what I was going to ask you. And so Rachel and I think we were a little stoned. We were watching it. I mean, I got to watch it twice because I got to watch it before we did your FYC event, which was so cool. And then I watched it again with Rachel because like I had to, which was really intense. No spoilers here, but dude, the dog, like.
I know.
What the fuck? Like.
You know, Brie got a dog named 630.
Stop it.
So cute. And it looks very similar.
That's cool.
He's so cute.
630 is a great name for a dog also. But I said to Rachel, I'm like, I think Courtney is the hand double.
Yeah.
So are you also credited as a double?
I don't think so. I don't know. You know what? I didn't even look. I don't think that I am, though. I think they would have told me.
Got it.
It's like a secret little under the radar thing. It was so fun though, because I had to get on full costume.
You did?
Yeah, because put the wig on, and I was like, and like they didn't put makeup on me, but they made me wear the Elizabeth Zott wig. And in my mind, I'm like, if they can like see the wig, it's too late. Like it's very clearly they're gonna know it's not Brie. But I think they just did it as like insurance. But it was so fun.
Wait.
And I got manicures. Like I have never had so many manicures in my life.
A dream. Well, and the costumes are so good. I did speak to, I spoke to her on Sunday, and then also the hair and makeup team who was
oh my God.
Miho is the best.
She's a gem.
And I mean, I can't play favorites, but my favorite of the season, and I think it should win. So you read the book then, I assume.
Yes.
Did the author have a lot of input into what you were making as well?
No, not really. Other than obviously she wrote the book, but
Right.
I was fairly far. I never personally spoke to the author, to Bonnie, but I was fairly far removed from it at that point. But from what I understand, because she was busy doing another book, I think she was on another book tour, and she was like, "I trust all of you. I know you're gonna do right by me. Go forth and make this show."
Wow.
She said this to the producers, so that was really cool. And I think that was a huge concern. And I know this because when I was on the press tour, I went with Natalie Sandy, who was one of the executive producers. So I heard her say it so many times. But Natalie's a huge reader. And she was like, I want the people who read the book to love the show as much as they love the book. And so she really made it a point to make sure that everything kind of flowed together. And, obviously there are some differences. But.
Yeah. I mean, so when you're making the lasagna, which is a key moment in all of this.
And the award for best lasagna goes to...
Well, but is it? So that's another thing. When you're making that lasagna for a show, is it for visual and taste? Just visual? Taste only? How does that work?
I'm like a chef, like a restaurant chef. That's how I came up. So for me, it needed to also taste good. It obviously needed to look good. But in my mind, if it tastes good, it's going to look good. More often than not. And so, and also the actors are actually, taking bites of the lasagna and stuff like that. So we wanted them to enjoy what they're eating.
Sure.
But yeah, so the lasagna from the show is lasagna. It's based on a recipe for lasagna that I make for myself every holidays for Thanksgiving. I tweaked it a little bit so it'd be slightly more 50s.
And what does that mean, slightly more 50s?
Like I added ricotta. Like ricotta just feels very 50s to me.
What do you normally do? You don't do ricotta, you do like bechamel.
I do a super bolognese style, bolognese and a bechamel and Parmesan. There's no mozzarella cheese. Fine. And I always hand make the noodles, which, we...
I would like this.
I can't believe you haven't had it before. I've made it so many times, but I guess it's been a minute.
Haven't had it.
Yeah. I'll make you some. But we also posted all the recipes.
I saw that.
Yeah, but the recipes that we posted use store-bought noodles just for ease because not everyone is a psycho and wants to make their pasta fresh from scratch every time like me. So not everyone has that kind of time.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, you could also buy, I think, fresh noodles at some prepared stores.
You can, but for my lasagna, I always make them because I roll them out as thin as possible, so I can do literally 12 layers. It's so good.
I mean, that's the only way.
It's
where it's just whisper thin.
It's almost like those remember those what is it, 100-layer crepe cakes?
Yes.
What were those? Sure was it Lady M Bakery in New York? It's almost
and
like
here.
that. There is one here now
on Beverly.
So it's like that kind of, but more bite with the noodles and obviously lasagna
delicious,
flavored, not crepe.
What else was iconic from the show? I mean, the lasagna was iconic, but what other? I'm trying to think.
Well, there's the lamb, the rack of lamb, the crown roast.
Yep.
That's not necessarily that was iconic to me because that was based on something that I actually did on my Instagram, which I thought was really cool that it made it into the show. We were brainstorming writing, and because we were trying to think of cool things that Elizabeth could make, and I was like, well, one time I made a crown roast for Game of Thrones. It's who will wear the crown? I like to do weird, silly things with food.
I know. That's why it's great. Ruined Table is so fun. That's why the whole concept is the best.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But so I made it. And then for some reason, when I was presenting it, I put it on my head and did a weird curtsy bow thing. And I told Alyssa, who was one of the head writers for the show, about it. And they wrote it into the script. Elizabeth doesn't. She's like, that was weird.
So not only were you a hand stand-in, but you, because of the nature of the last year with the strikes, which I've talked about a lot on this show because it was a huge part of my life, you ended up going on the full fucking press tour.
Yeah.
Full on, you were the star. When I had a call with Apple about the whole event we were doing, they're like, well, we're really leaning into our food stylist. I'm like, yeah, that's my friend. Like, yes, I know. But that kind of a unique once in a lifetime experience, especially potentially for the food. I mean, the culinary consultant. It makes sense because the whole show is about food. Like, it's perfect. But how did you feel about doing that?
It was so fun.
I mean, you also got styled and you were, I mean, it was amazing.
I had a stylist. I had a hair and makeup team. I was going like, staying in fancy hotels.
I know. I saw you on the street when I was wildly hungover. You and I felt like I was on the Lessons in Chemistry tour. I mean, that was so funny.
That was hilarious. That was San Francisco. Yeah, in San Francisco. Just randomly walking by.
But I'm from there. So I got very nervous when I heard Liz, because it could have been a cousin. It could have been a friend. It could have been someone I slept with. It could have been whoever. And I look up and I was like, just hi, little everyone.
Old me.
Little old you in the car. It was great.
That was the last day too.
So obviously you should be on camera. Like, we know this. You're a star. But what happens now? Like, are you like, okay, like this is an area that I want to continue in?
Yeah.
It is.
I love it. I really love being on camera. I think it's super fun. I love talking. I don't know if you noticed.
I did know that about you.
And
you're here.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Like, I obviously love cooking too. I'm doing Ruined Table, pitching ideas until my face turns blue, until someone, picks one up. And
well, that's just how that goes. I mean,
totally. That's
I remember
part of the biz.
Yeah, it is part of the biz. And it's kind of fun. Sometimes things happen at different times for a reason. I watched you did a lot of behind the scenes cooking content with you filming with a lot of the actors that I've seen on social. And I watched something with Brie, and she was like, well, Courtney is one of my best friends. And I was like, you're best friends with Brie Larson? Are you best friends with Brie Larson? And I just did not know.
Yeah.
How did you meet Brie Larson?
Just from being around.
What do you mean from being around? What does that even mean? In Silver Lake, Los Feliz, Highland Park? What do you guys do?
Yeah, we were at the grocery store and we both reached for the same orange at the same time. And it was friends right after that, best friends.
But no, I mean, and I know you hang out with lots of cool people because you're cool and we're all cool.
Cool.
But have you known her for a long time?
Yeah. I've known her I met her very shortly after I moved to LA, when I fully moved to LA.
Okay.
Just through friends of friends, just being around.
That whole crew.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's wild.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
She's awesome. And there's some people who you meet and you're like, okay, this is a person who I like, but we probably won't be become super close friends. That was not the case with Brie at all. I was like, oh, we're definitely going to end up being good friends. I can already tell.
Well, and she's the spectrum between Marvel.
I know.
And Lessons in Chemistry. The Room, I'm too scared to watch.
It's so good.
I'm not going to watch that.
Okay.
It's too scary.
It's not scary.
Yes, it is. She's locked in a room.
But it's not scary.
It's what is scary, though?
It's not ideal. It's not something that I would personally want to have happen to me, but.
All right, fine. Maybe I'll give it a go. Just the little boy, they're in the room. I don't know. It's it really.
Well, you don't have to. I won't force you to watch it.
I mean, listen, I say I won't watch things and then I do. I just watched Gremlins for the first time. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something? Give Gremlins 2 a whirl.
I might. Well, and also
so ridiculous.
I do this crazy thing, and I don't know if you do it either. I feel like it's sort of an LA industry thing where when I watch something, I'm immediately on IMDb, seeing who the people are, what they've done. Do you know who the voice of Gizmo from
No.
Gremlins is?
No.
Howie Mandel. What? Yeah.
But Gizmo doesn't even really do.
Yeah, he does.
I guess so.
Also, why was no one shocked? Corey Feldman and the Billy guy were not even that shocked about Gizmo. They were like, oh, he's cute. All right. So anyway, I'm like, what? You have this crazy.
Corey Feldman's in.
Yeah, he's the little annoying friend that comes over.
You remember that?
Gremlins is fucking insane.
You know what? It's been so long since I've watched Gremlins because I've only been watching Gremlins 2.
All right, I'll give Gremlins 2 a whirl. I'm ready for it.
Do
It's a
it.
Christmas movie. Is it also a Christmas movie?
Well, I consider it a Christmas movie because it's adjacent to Gremlins, which is very much a Christmas movie.
Yeah, Gremlins
It's
was
Christmas
crazy.
adjacent.
I couldn't believe it was Steven Spielberg. Like, all of my brain was just blowing. I was like, what is this? Anyway, so maybe I'll watch The Room. But okay, so you guys...
But okay, you don't have to watch The Room if you don't want to, but you absolutely have to watch Gremlins too. I can't stress this enough.
I will be doing that this weekend.
It is the most ridiculous movie. There's also a really good Key and Peele sketch that you should watch before or maybe after. Maybe watch it before.
No, I have to watch it after because then I won't get it if I watch it.
But it might be a good setup.
All right.
Yeah.
Listen, and there's a Gremlins 3.
Is there?
Mm-hmm. IMDb.
I don't know if I've seen that one, but maybe I...
All right, I'll give Gremlins 2 a go this weekend, maybe.
Let me know what you think. I want an immediate text.
You will get one. So you started at a very iconic, you've like been in a lot of iconic cultural vibey moments in your career.
I have really good timing.
You really do.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that happen? Like a girl from Texas, where did you go to college? You went to?
In Austin.
And then
Le Cordon Bleu.
And then how did you make it to New York?
Well, one day I was like, I need to go to New York.
And then you just went?
And like 2 weeks later, I went.
And then how did you get the job with Christina?
I emailed. So it's actually, looking back, I'm like, wow. But like, I'm a big proponent of following your intuition and your gut. And it was like, literally, I woke up because I'd been like, in my mind, like, I really want to move there. And then one day I woke up and I was like, it's time to go. And so I literally gave notice at work. Got rid of all, like just gave away all of my furniture, packed anything that I could fit into my Toyota Avalon.
Bigger than a Camry.
Yeah, and I fit a lot of stuff.
Sizable. My dad had a Toyota Avalon, big trunk. Those cars.
I mean, that's how I ended up with the Toyota Avalon. My dad bequeathed it to me when he got a new car. I would never just like have a Toyota Avalon otherwise.
Why not?
Do they even make those anymore? Anyway, so drove to New York, did not have a place to live, did not have a job. I think I had $2,000.
Did you have friends?
Not really, no. But I knew no one.
Where did you stay?
Well, I'm going to tell you. Thanks for asking. So when I was leaving, a coworker was like, hey, I have a friend who lives there. She might need a roommate. So I was like, okay, cool, noted. So I emailed, they put me in touch and she was like, yeah, sure, I actually do need a roommate. So I got a place to live on the way. And then when I got to New York, I knew Milk Bar had just opened. And I was on Craigslist, trawling Craigslist for jobs. And I saw that Noodle Bar, which is one of the Momofuku restaurants, they had posted for a job. And I responded. I was like, hey, I don't want to work for you. I really want to work for Milk Bar. Here's my resume. Could you pass it along? And then 3 days later, Christina Tosi calls. She's like, come in. Let's meet. And we met. And I did a trail. I
think it's a trial.
Yeah. Trail. No, it's called trailing. I don't know. It's been so long.
Is it trailing?
It's basically when you work for free.
No, I know. I've done it.
Excuse me. It's trailing.
I think it's trailing.
I think it's trailing. I don't know. Anyway, we'll look that up later. Can someone phone a friend? And then was offered a job and I took it. And it was just a few months after Milk Bar opened. So that was good timing for me. So I very quickly rose through the ranks and became the culinary director. And I wrote those cookbooks.
Which I have. And you're in it. Your little picture.
My little picture.
I find that cookbook sometimes hard to use.
It's a lot. It's like the recipes.
Being honest with you.
No. They're very intense. There's just a lot of steps.
It's a lot of stuff. I did a baking class at Milk Bar here in LA. And I was so annoying the whole time. I'm like, my friend, my friend Courtney, she wrote this book. So if you had any questions, just ask me. As I'm making these milk-soaked fucking cake balls where I'm like, what are we eating? Are these perishable? What are we doing?
They're extremely perishable.
They're extremely perishable. Yeah, they were you have to eat these tomorrow. We were like, what? And then I special asked for the crack pie.
It's not called that anymore.
Why not?
They got a lot of flack on the internet for calling it crack pie. I think it's called Milk Bar pie now.
Oh, for the love of God. Really?
Yeah, there was a cancel moment, I think.
What is something, here's the thing. You've obviously worked in so many restaurants. I have also worked in so many restaurants. There are some things that I like, don't ever want to eat again. Like you just make them or you eat them and you're like, oh my God, I can like smell it in my hair. Da, da, da,
Yes.
Sometimes I miss some things that I like. The potato pillows with caviar from Bix in San Francisco.
Ooh.
Did I eat them every single day on break? I sure did. Would I love one?
Sounds good.
Right?
Wait, what's a potato pillow?
Oh my God. It's like it's basically like piped. It's like dauphinoise and mashed potatoes had a baby. You know what I mean?
So right. Why don't we have these right now?
Right
I feel
now,
like that
and
would
then
be like a really good like.
I know,
display
accoutrement. It's like a little creme fraiche and then caviar. And they're like this big and you just pop them in your mouth and they are amazing.
I want that.
Is there anything that you could still like, what's your favorite thing from Milk Bar?
The thing that the cornflake marshmallow cookie. That was always my thing that I loved the most.
Would you ever make anything from there? Because you just made so many of it.
Never.
You couldn't. Like if somebody
wouldn't dream of it.
Came in, if I invited you here right now and I had a box of Milk Bar cookies, would you be like, nah, dude, I can't do it? Because you've had them so many times.
I would probably, if it was a cornflake chocolate chip marshmallow cookie, I would do this. I would do this move. I would reach in, I would break it in half. I would break it in a quarter, maybe break it into an eighth, and then I'd do this. But that's probably as far as I would go.
How does it make you feel when you go to like Whole Foods or albeit I think Sprouts or anywhere and there's like Milk Bar ice cream, Milk Bar, like so many products. Is it crazy to you?
Yes. Makes me feel like I wish I had stock in Milk Bar.
Yeah, fair enough. But that's what I mean. I mean, you hit it so early. Like you were such an integral part of that. I mean, that's a big brand now. She's on a lot. I mean, she's out.
Huge.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's true.
Is it crazy though? Or are you like, oh, I did that and you move on? Like it's
not, I mean, I'm not surprised by it by any stretch. Christina is a very hard worker and very, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my God. Y'all, the older I get, the less I can use my brain. Like I don't know why. Shit. Also, I just called you y'all.
The listeners or y'all.
Ambitious. She's she's one of the most ambitious people I've ever met. So I'm absolutely not surprised. And I knew when I left Milk Bar, like that was the ultimate plan, was to go get into like CPG, which is consumer packaged goods.
Sure
but
is.
But that whole world, I mean, that whole world kind of freaks me out. I've worked in that world for different brands.
Duh, you know? I was the ice cream tester at Cool House. I did that job gratis.
It's such a strange world.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
Food science like that, like people that come up with flavors. And I mean, it is really, truly science. It is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I have all sorts
of
ideas.
Some might say it's chemistry.
It is chemistry. Cooking is chemistry.
Cooking is chemistry.
But it is
full circle.
Literally. But it is such an interesting world. What other things have you done that you like were like it was good timing outside of Milk Bar, lessons in chemistry, ruined? Like what? Give me another good one.
Oh man. I think that about covers.
No, it doesn't. I feel like no.
I think time isn't linear. And I think that, you know, like we were saying earlier, some things take longer, some things take shorter. And I do feel like with Ruined Table, like that's been in my mind. Like I've been talking about it and like about dinner parties and like doing fun, cool dinner parties. Like restaurants are great, but the next best restaurant is your home kitchen, and like making that a thing is something that's been in my mind for years, like since I first came to LA. And then I finally launched it and started doing it during COVID because I was like, well, it's now or never, McBroom. You gotta like pull the trigger at some time. And I think like, I feel like I do have a tendency, like if you think about the collective consciousness, like I feel like I always know something's gonna get big right before it does. And so I feel like so I think with like dinner parties in particular, we're seeing more and more of that, like people having like smaller intimate gatherings and like alternatives to restaurants, whether that's supper clubs or like people having like weird secret dinner parties in different places, stuff like that.
Which I love. I'm like, so obviously I love a dinner party and I'm so into that. What if somebody said to you, okay, I'm hosting, I want it to be like an epic dinner party. I'm not a chef, but I like to cook. What is the menu?
Is there a theme or is it just whatever?
I mean, I love a theme.
And
but
how many people?
6.
6 people. No theme? I mean, here's what I always say. What would be your favorite dinner party theme? If you're going to throw a dinner party, what would you want the theme to be?
Theme. Fuck, that's such a good question.
I know. Because
Okay, go ahead.
I love a theme because it gives me
Structure.
a box to work within. And I think that makes it so much more
Well,
interesting.
I did a hot dog party for my birthday, and you and I both love hot dogs. How do I join that hot dog club?
You're in. All you have to do is ask. Congratulations.
I did
You're a proud member.
I did a hot dog birthday party, like backyard, where it was fabulous. And I kind of then did high-low. I love high-low.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like a bowl of, I'm really into this now. Even at my house for like a party, I like doing like a little bowl of Cheez-Its or like a little bowl of Goldfish or like a little bowl of M&Ms like throughout. Do you know what I mean? Where you're like, oh, that's like kind of like children's food, but I'm like,
but
that's actually what I want to eat.
Yeah, you gotta have like little snacks. I think for dinner parties, like the easiest thing to do is something that you can make ahead and just reheat. So whether that's like a pan of enchiladas with like a really big salad or like macaroni and cheese or a lasagna, stuff like that, especially if you're not—
That's smart.
If you're not like a seasoned chef, like that's really simple. Or like, roast chicken is so classic. Or like a big roast hunk of meat, a slow roasted pork is so easy. You can do like pork tacos. I got lots of ideas.
Wow, really? I'm now very hungry.
I honestly don't know how I wouldn't be able to cook for one person to save my life.
One person. I do it all the time. I do it for Rachel almost every fucking night of her life.
Yeah, I make like a meal and then I have to like portion it in the freezer because I've made so much.
Well, yeah, but that's like restaurant life. Like my grandfather was a baker. I don't know if you knew this.
No, I didn't know this.
The Cully Bakehouse in Wellington, New Zealand.
Wait, New Zealand?
Yeah.
Your family's from New Zealand?
Wellington, New Zealand.
I did not know that.
Well, here we are. And
someone.
My dad would deliver bread to the town. They did like all the wedding and all the cakes and the whole, yeah. But his cookbook is insane because it's
I want his cookbook.
32 eggs. It's like 32 eggs, 4 pounds of flour. And I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to I can't make that.
No, like the batches we were making at Milk Bar, God, I can't, it's been so long, but I want to say like the batches of cookies started off with like 30 pounds of butter.
That's
like the
crazy.
Mixers.
Oh yeah.
Like I was scared of the mixers because like if you look, thank God like nothing ever happened, but like you'd literally die. Like if you like accidentally fell in. Oh my God, do you want to?
Yeah.
Do you want to hear a really fucked up story?
Yeah.
So this is not Milk Bar related, but I was working for Cool House Ice Cream, and I was and this is not Cool House related either, but we were at the ice cream factory doing like a massive run of like 100,000 units. And I was there with a guy who had worked in big factory kitchens for his whole life. And he had worked at a poultry plant once. Are you sure you want to hear this? It's really, but I asked him, I was like, what's the most fucked up thing you've ever experienced like on the job? And he said that they had the meat grinders. And one time a guy, like there was not proper protocol and a guy fell into it while he was cleaning it and someone accidentally started it and literally ground him up. Like how he survived.
How did he survive?
He was leg first.
So he lost his legs?
Oh yeah. You might want to edit that.
I'm not going to edit it out. We need content like this. You know what though? I would rather die. I actually would just kill me.
You wouldn't tell me the factory name.
Well, yeah, of course. I would, if I fell into a meat grinder. It's the way I
a giant.
You know what? It's the same way I feel every time I drop something in the food disposal.
I won't put my hand down there.
Well, you have to sometimes, and I'm always like,
I use tongs.
Like I'm gonna lose my hand every time. I'm always like, clear out of the fucking kitchen. It's always like scary to me.
It's terrifying.
It's legitimately terrifying. I would actually want to die. I think if I fell into a meat grinder and my legs were ground, my bones and my skin and my muscles were ground, I think I would say, please give me a gun. I would try to call good old Paul O'Grady, even though he's dead, I would say, give me your gun. And
Who's Paul O'Grady?
He was we talked about this off camera. He was the guy that I went on a date with who I thought worked at
Paul O'Grady is his name.
That I thought worked at the Howard Stern show.
Paul O'Grady.
Go back and listen to my diary episode if you want the full thing there. Full story there. I would die. I would want to die. I don't think I would want to survive. Because there's no will to live. My legs were grounded. Like, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Okay, so would you ever write your own like, I mean, you have with Ruined Table, you have the menu cards.
Well, and then Divine Your Dinner. I wrote that cookbook. But do you not know about that?
No, what's that about?
Wait, what?
Who's that?
I feel like you're gonna dig this. It's my cookbook. I came out 2 years ago.
What the fuck?
It's a tarot card cookbook.
Oh, I do remember.
Yeah,
I went to the party, or I went to the thing.
Oh yeah, the cookbook party. I don't know. Because it was during COVID. It's like, that was a weird.
Yeah, wasn't it on the top of the Nomad? The roof of the Nomad?
Mm-mm. Oh, wait.
No, it was. You did it. You did something, and we like ran into each other there. I was on the top of the Nomad with Natasha and Freya and a bunch of Leses and you and a tarot card. And there was crystals and there were tarot people.
No. Yeah. No, I know.
Like, and then I was like, oh, hi, Courtney.
Tarot people made of tarot. That was kind of like the beginning of the idea for the cookbook.
Oh.
Because that was like a long time ago.
Time and space.
Oh, yeah. It's not linear.
Oh, right. I don't know. I'm like, you were there. Yeah. I was there.
Yeah, you're right. I remember now.
Okay, so that's interesting. So tell us about the cookbook.
So it's basically there's a recipe for every card in the tarot deck. And so
I do remember this.
Yeah. So the recipe like kind of uses ingredients that are symbolic of the energies of each card. Because if you think about like folk magic, different ingredients were used for different things like many years ago, like back in the olden days, and they have energetic properties. And so we kind of combined both into a cookbook. Pretty cool. So you can like
LA.
You can like do it's the most LA thing ever. You can like do a spread and then make the recipes based on that, or you can like decide what you want to cook and see like, oh, this is the card it represents. Maybe I need more of this in my life. More love. Or
the most LA thing I've ever heard of in my life. I love that. Okay, well, would you write another one? A different book?
About tarot cards?
No, about anything.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I want to do like a full-blown Ruined Table book, like a dinner party, like fun, weird, like dinner party book.
Great.
And I have some other things in the works that I will have to come on the podcast at another time to talk more about. Because it's not for sure. So I don't want to like, we're going to knock on all that.
What do you think about like millennial food culture? Because, I am a devotee.
Oh, really?
I really am. Like
Well, define millennial food culture.
Okay. Molly Baz, Allison Roman, like Grossi Pelosi, who was a guest on this show. Like this sort of like, maybe not necessarily. I mean, I think Allison worked in a restaurant, but like you haven't really worked in a restaurant, but you've like now started like a food blog or an Instagram, and now you have like a line of cookware. Chrissy Teigen is millennial.
Yeah.
Cooking.
Well, I will say Allison did work in restaurants. She worked at Milk Bar with me.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, we've known each other for years and years and years. And she worked in San Francisco restaurants as well. But when you first said millennial food culture, I thought you were talking about like TikTok trends, which
that's Gen Z.
Well, yeah,
and that's
I guess that makes
butter
sense.
Candles and shit. I'm like, get out of here. I don't have fucking time for that.
Well, okay, here's the thing that speaking of butter candles, I don't have time for that shit either. But here's what you're
like, however, the butter candle.
No, but listen, so this is why I hate that shit, because like I found out that like you can make butter candles years ago, and I was like, oh cool, I want to like make those and sell those. And so I was like testing them and making them, and I soon realized I was like, yeah, it's cool, but it doesn't work. The butter burns, the wicks like don't stay lit, and it's not that good, and it's like doesn't really make sense at all. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that. And then all of a sudden it's this huge trend, and in my mind I'm like for me, like I think there's so many food trends that like look pretty, but they don't taste good and they don't actually work in real life, and that really bums me out.
The TikTok stuff, I can't. Like girl dinner, I'm starving. Like why?
I don't even know what that is.
It's just a fucking charcuterie board. I'm like,
those have been around for thousands of years.
No, I know. It's like silly stuff. I'm millennial culture. I just mean it's more like, yeah, like the Allison Romans, the Molly Baz. I would even put you into millennial. I mean, that.
Even though I'm actually Gen X.
No, you're not.
Yes, huh?
What year were you born?
I don't want to say it, but it's Gen X.
Is it before 1985? Really? Like, interesting.
I'm an what is it called? An exennial? I'm like right on the cusp.
Yeah, I'm technically a millennial, but I think I'm an exennial.
I take pride in my Gen X tendencies.
Like what?
Just being cool.
Cool and cool?
Yeah. I think Gen Xers are just freaking coolest.
People love Gen Xers.
Yeah.
Gen Xers had it so easy. They had Bill Clinton. They had the benefit of the Reagan years. They had very good music. 1994, we've talked about it on the show. Stellar year. Green Day, Dookie. Crazy, sexy, cool.
Yeah.
Tupac at his fucking height. Like, don't even get me wrong.
Nirvana.
Is there a concert that you never went to that you'd have always wanted to go to?
I mean, I would have loved to have seen Nirvana, obviously.
Me, 1996, 4th of July, House of Sunset or House of Blues on Sunset. Tupac's last show was the fucking best.
You were there?
No, I was 11 years old.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
But you know what though? I went to fucking Freedom Tibet concert, which is tight.
I went
to some cool shit. No, fair enough. I don't know why no one in my life as an adult had the wherewithal and really the love and kindness to drive me from San Francisco to the fucking House of Blues to the most fucking just wild concert of all time. And they didn't. And I will
Were you
never
a fan
forget.
of Tupac then?
Oh, psychotic. Always have been, always will be till the day I die.
One of the greats.
Truly. Yeah. Okay. So Jen, so you identify more with, all right, fine.
I mean, I identify both. But
Okay.
like, I like to throw that Gen X in there because I think it's cool.
Do you follow food accounts on Instagram?
Fuck no.
Why?
But I don't watch. Because it's also. I get triggered by it.
Because you get annoyed, like I've done that, or that's not right,
I mean,
or
I either get annoyed, like this is dumb, this is not real, or I've done that, and like why didn't I go viral when I did that, or why didn't I think of that, or oh my god, I'm not working hard enough. Why, like it's like any combination of it all. I mean, I'll occasionally like go and like look at stuff just to like see what's going on in the world, but I kind of stay away from it because I want to like make sure that I'm always authentic and following my own path. I don't want to be like accidentally copying anybody or like, like I really like take pride. And I hope that my career so far, I've really kind of carved my own path and like done things differently.
Yeah.
And not, which, for better or for worse, but like I don't ever want to be influenced by like trends. I want to be making the trends.
Trendsetter.
Yeah. Well,
so no Food Network for you.
No. I couldn't even watch The Bear.
Well, The Bear is, first of all, wildly triggering for anyone that's worked in a restaurant, especially fine dining of any fucking kind.
I tried to watch it, but I couldn't.
Season 2 is even like more of an emotional wreck. Also, we like have all the chef culture of it all.
I can't. Like
I don't think you could.
I know. I was like, first episode, I was like, when they started like name dropping Noma, I was like, nope.
She said, no, wait till they go in the fucking tickets. Like there's one scene and the ticket, they didn't.
Like the restaurant tickets in Spain?
Well, yeah.
I don't even want to know.
And it's like, because basically they turned on like online orders, but didn't realize. It's like.
Oh, no. So there's this restaurant in Spain called Tickets.
Oh.
I think it's called Tickets, but it was like a really trendy, like gastro thing. Like,
no.
That's okay.
I
was like, that's a really deep cut. It's weird that they.
No.
I don't even know if it's still open.
What are your top 3 restaurants in LA and top 3 restaurants in New York?
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I did it's funny. I was actually just talking about this with a friend I did like a whole series, like a Instagram story thing when like the 50 best restaurant thing came out. And once again, this was like a couple years ago, Noma was like number 1. So I went on this whole rant on Instagram about how like, yeah, Nomad's fine, but like my favorite restaurants are like the corner spot where I can go get really great oysters, you know, or like whatever that is. And like, why don't we talk more about those restaurants? Like, and so I asked all the people that the millions of people that follow me on Instagram to like send in like what their favorite spots were. And they were all just like cool, like neighborhood joints or like things you don't think of. And I found that so interesting.
Yes.
So my favorite places in LA, you know, that's really, really hard to say. But most recently, I just went to Queen Street Oyster, which is like
right by me.
It was so cute and great. The oysters were delicious.
Very good.
The interior was precious. It's like a great date spot.
Yeah.
And the wine selection was really good. I really loved it. Was it my favorite restaurant in LA? I don't know, but I really like it.
Okay.
I also love like the old LA haunts, like Musso and Frank's.
The best.
The food's not very good, but like, or Smokehouse, like none of these. I just went to Dantana's recently and like.
I've still never been.
What?
It doesn't make any sense.
You have to go
I
to
know,
Dantana's.
it's so weird.
Well, and here's a tip, which I didn't realize. You have to ask if you can sit inside because I was just there and I forgot to say we need to sit inside. And so they sat us outside.
No, I would have left.
Not the experience. You need to sit inside at Dantana's. So like I love all of those really old classic LA
Dear
haunts.
John's is
John's. Oh my God, Dear John's.
The Sandabs.
Incredible. Yeah. Oh wait, I don't know that one.
The Sandabs? Do you know what a Sandab is?
Is that a
very San Francisco.
Is that a crab?
It's a white fish.
Oh, the
Paper thin.
Sandabs at
Dear John's.
Oh, I thought there was a restaurant called Sandabs.
No. Dear John's.
Man, I feel like a fool.
Okay, what about New York? Where are you going in New York?
I mean, my first stop always in New York is oh my God, Thai Diner. Used to be Uncle Boone's, which is a Thai place in Nolita. They closed down and they opened Thai Diner also in Nolita. Have you been there?
No.
My God, that might actually be my favorite restaurant in the world. It's my first, like from the airport, I don't go to the hotel or wherever I'm staying. I go straight to
Really?
Thai Diner. And it's open. I think it's open 24 hours or maybe not. It's open for most of the day. And so it doesn't matter when I arrive, I just go, I sit there. They have like a really great ice creams. I order like an insane person, like as if I'm ordering there's 5 of us, but it's almost always just me. Like just sit at the bar, have a cocktail. I love it. So I love Thai Diner.
Wow.
I love Via Carota.
Classic.
So good. And then so you go the trick for Via Carota is you go put your name in and then you go across the street to their cocktail bar, which the name is escaping me.
I was just there literally like weeks ago. I didn't notice there was.
They have the cutest little cocktail.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What's it called?
Oh my God. And that is where we actually took the baby and we had like a million drinks. I don't know, but yes.
Yes. It's so cute. And then I love Four Horsemen in Williamsburg, which is James and my friend James and Randy's spot.
Okay, I haven't been. Love that.
Oh, it's an amazing wine bar in the good old Williamsburg. So you know it's cool.
Oh, so cool.
Is Williamsburg cool still?
I don't think so. I think it's pretty cheese now, but it's fine. All right. Wow.
What about you? What's your favorite?
What my favorite?
Yeah.
In LA? It's the same thing. I don't know if they're the best restaurants, but I love them. I love All Time in Los Feliz.
Oh yeah, that place, that is really good.
It fucking is always good. It just like is always good.
Yeah.
I do love Sunset Tower.
Oh, classic. Yeah, I mean, that's what LA is for, being classy and cool
just
and
classic
chic.
And chill. I mean, give me some pigs in a blanket, like zucchini chips, like I'm good. Cobb salad for dinner. Why
yes.
not? And then I love Jitlada. You know this.
Jitlada's great.
Jazz. Shout out to Jazz. I am really into sticky rice at the moment. I love a Thai moment always.
Yeah. I love Night Market.
I was just going to say, I fucking love those party wings and I love Night Market.
So spicy.
So spicy.
Really put you out the next day.
So good.
Don't have plans for the following day.
Yeah. No. I love Carousel because I am a Glendale girly
yes.
and it's delicious. And in New York, Via Carota, that's a strong one. I do love, oh my God. And I have the sweatshirt because I bought it in the pandemic. Help me. Oh my God, this is so bad. My brain, I'm the same as you. My brain is
Russ and Daughters?
Steak fried is what we get all the time.
In New York?
Yes. Oh my God.
Oh, is it like the classic?
Starts with an R.
R?
Raoul's. Raoul's, and I love
I've never been to
Buvette.
Raoul's.
What?
Buvette's good.
You've never been to Raoul's?
No, God damn it.
You gotta go.
Okay.
Steak free, call it a day.
Okay.
I
Wait,
lo-
where is it?
It's like near Buvette. It's like West Village.
West
I
Village.
love
Also, you know what I love too, but this is more of this is also a place and a time, is Roberta's Pizza, like when it first opened.
when it first opened. It's
Like,
not like
that
the
was
one in
a-
Culver City.
That was a time and a place to be.
Yeah,
They
fair
also
enough.
had that cool little radio station.
Oh,
Heritage
yeah.
Radio.
What a time.
What a time to be alive.
What a time.
Truly, like, those years in New York were great for food.
They
I mean,
really were.
they're all good for food, but like I would say when I was there specifically, not because I was there, but I just had good timing. But like 2010, 2007 through 2015,
a wonderful time in New
there's
York.
a lot of cool stuff going on. I haven't been. I was there in February, but I haven't been since February. It's been almost a year since I've been.
It was a year for me. It was great to be back, but I'm glad I live in LA.
Mm,
I like it here.
I like LA too.
Okay, last and final question.
Mhm.
If Lessons in Chemistry wasn't just a series and it kept going, do you think Elizabeth Zott, oh, sorry, big spoiler, but it's my show. So you can turn it off now because this is the last question.
Spoiler.
Do you think Elizabeth Zott would or should have kept her show going?
Oh. No, I think she did the right thing. I think she did the thing that was right for her. She ultimately wanted to be a scientist, be a chemist, and that's what she did. You can always go be a special guest on the show.
There you go.
There you go.
Courtney, I love you. Thank you for being a guest
I
on
love
Cool, Cool,
you.
Cool.
This was so fun.